This video is going to start a little bit differently because honestly, there's just a little bit of drama. All right. I'm going to tell you guys that these AI channels they kind of getting out of control. I'm actually kind of tired of having clients come to me and I'm having to undo a lot of the things that they were told from Tony Robbins or Mel Robbins or even Dr. Jordan Peterson. Those channels, they're most likely not real, right? And I want you guys to check your receipts whenever you go into these channels. I mean, they're serving a purpose. They're helping people in the middle of the night when they're feeling alone, they're feeling a little bit confused about what's going on with their particular relationship situation. But I'm going to tell you that a lot of these channels aren't real. And that's okay if you want to spend time listening and watching those channels. It's good for what it's used for. But when you're taking a lot of the things that they're saying as law and not lived experience, you got to be a little bit careful about that. But today, we're going to talk about the point of no return with a dismissive avoidant. Hey, what's going on, my beautiful people? This is Certified Life and Relationship Coach, Coach Court. Today, we're diving into a question that so many of you guys have asked me, which is when an avoidant is done forever, or what does the point of no return look like with a dismissive avoidant? What does it feel like? How does it unfold? And why does it leave both people standing on the opposite sides of something that can't really be bridged together again? Now, I want you to stick with me because I'm not just going to explain the patterns. I'm going to walk you through step by step how this moment develops. What does it feel like for both the partner and the avoidant? And what it really teaches us about love, self-worth, and healing. All right? Let's start here. The point of no return doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly. It builds silently. It sneaks up on both people until one day the relationship isn't what it used to be. And honestly, there's no going back after that. When you first meet an avoidant, it doesn't always feel like trouble, right? In fact, they can be some of the most charming and magnetic people you'll ever meet. They give you just enough energy and presence that you start to imagine a future with them. Intimacy feels possible again, but what you can't see is that underneath it all, that nervous system is already on guard. They want closeness, but they're terrified of the vulnerability that comes from it. And so the cycle begins. They lean in, they pull back, they give you just enough, and then they withdraw. They might breadcrumb you enough to keep you hanging on, but never enough for you to feel secure. And if you're anxiously attached, this cycle is intoxicating and destabilizing at the same time. You chase after the closeness because every now and then they give you just enough to keep hope alive. But here's where things start to shift. That cycle can't last forever. Your nervous system, your heart, your mind can only hold that tension for so long before something breaks. And what usually breaks is hope. For the partner of an avoidant, the point of no return isn't a dramatic fight. It's not yelling or slamming a door or sending a long text. It's quieter than that. It's when you finally stop believing that change is possible. And that's the moment when you realize love without reciprocity isn't really love. That giving everything while getting scraps in return is unsustainable. It's when their breadcrumbs stop working on you. Your heart doesn't leap at the possibility of reconnection anymore because you've been through this too many times to believe it'll last. And of course, you don't always announce it. You just stop being available for the chaos. You stop making excuses. You stop fighting for potential and start protecting your own peace. Now, here's the tragic irony. The avoidant has their own point of no return, right? And usually it happens at the same time, but from the opposite direction. For them, it's the moment they realize they've pushed away someone irreplaceable. They feel the shift in your energy before they can even name it. Suddenly, their usual tactics don't work anymore. They push and pull doesn't create pursuit. Their withdrawal doesn't bring you closer. It creates space. Their breadcrumbs are met with detached responses instead of desperation. And for the first time, they face the reality of a permanent loss. That's the cruel pattern of a relationship with a dismissive avoidant. Both people often realize what they want at the exact same moment. It becomes more impossible to have it. You finally see your worth and stop settling just as they realize they've been starving someone who mattered to them the most. But by then, the damage has already been done, and that's the point of no return. Now, let me be clear. This isn't about blame. It's not about who's right or wrong. It's about what happens when fear and unhealed wounds keep running the show in your life. For the partner, the point of no return is your nervous system saying, nope, not anymore. No more begging for stability. No more emotional scraps. No more sacrificing yourself to keep someone else comfortable. It's not anger. What it is survival. And for the avoidant, the point of no return is regret. It's the painful recognition that their fear-driven patterns destroyed something they actually valued. And it comes a little bit too late. Both people are protecting themselves, but in opposite directions. One protects their peace by leaving. The other scrambles to protect what they've already lost. And this is where so many of you guys get stuck. You ask me, will my avoidant ex regret it? Will they come back? And honestly, many do. They regret, they cycle back, they test the waters. But by the time they do, the bigger question should be this: will you even want them anymore? Because that's the real point of no return. Not when they lose you, but when you finally find that within yourself. You make yourself, your own peace of mind, home.